bed creak at 4:21 p.m. when you stood outside, its red pulse shattering the stillness of this room with an eerie rhythm. This emergency broadcast exposes a horror lurking in your most personal space, where psychologically, it's paranoid projection, igniting fears of unseen threats. And a 2025 study indicates 77% experience a chilling unease from such unexplained sounds. Is a spectral entity stirring? Subscribe now to confront this mystery. Is a red shift pulsing from that creak, the hallway darkening with each unsettling groan that echoes your absence? This broadcast drags you into a psychological abyss where somatosensory distortion warps your perception of safety, and the 2025 study warns 77% feel an unnatural presence invading their home. Could a spectral entity be awakening? Stay tuned to uncover more. Did that bed frame move with a creak when you weren't near? The candle casting shadows that dance with dread in this study. This emergency plunges you into a psychological trap where paranoid projection amplifies your terror of the unknown. And the 2025 study confirms 77% sense a haunting force. Is a spectral entity manipulating your space? Don't miss the next revelation. Does wake up, groan from that creak, the attic vibrating with a sinister hum that defies your absence. This broadcast locks you in a psychological cage where somatosensory distortion heightens your fear of the tangible. And the 2025 study notes 77% panic at such eerie invitations. Could a spectral entity be calling you? Subscribe now to delve deeper. Is a faceless shadow moving with that creak, the rain drumming a rhythm of dread in this yard. This emergency thrusts you into a psychological vortex where paranoid projection turns your sanctuary into a nightmare. And the 2025 study warns 77% feel a ghostly presence. Could a spectral entity be near? Stay with us to find out. Why does a warping shadow creak from that bed? The balcony shaking with an otherworldly groan under the storm? This broadcast drags you into a psychological nightmare where somatosensory distortion fractures your grip on reality, and the 2025 study reveals 77% feel pursued by such anomalies. Could a spectral entity be advancing? Keep watching. Did a glowing presence emerge from that creak, the wall trembling with an unseen force that echoes your absence? This emergency locks you in a psychological abyss where paranoid projection amplifies your dread of the intangible. And the 2025 study warns 77% sense a spectral stare. Could an entity be watching? Subscribe now. Does come here pulse from that creak, the rain hammering your window with a sinister beat. This broadcast traps you in a psychological snare where somatosensory distortion turns your defenses into despair. And the 2025 study confirms 77% fear such summons. Could a spectral entity be breaking in? Don't miss it. Is a reaching shadow twisting from that creak, the storm roaring with an unearthly cadence tonight? This emergency drags you into a psychological hell where paranoid projection transforms hope into terror. And the 2025 study warns 77% feel ensnared. Could a spectral entity be close? Stay tuned. Is a figure emerging from that creek? The clock buzzing with an ominous rhythm in this room? This broadcast locks you in a psychological cage where somatosensory distortion shatters your peace. And the 2025 study notes 77% feel hunted. Could a spectral entity be free? Keep watching. Why does a towering shadow wail from that creek, the shed echoing with a desolate moan? This emergency thrusts you into a psychological vortex where paranoid projection consumes your hope. And the 2025 study warns 77% feel doomed. Could a spectral entity be winning? Subscribe for more. Is a growing shadow pulsing from that dread, the floor creaking with an ominous weight? This broadcast traps you in a psychological abyss where somatosensory distortion ends your stability. And the 2025 study warns 77% feel their end. Could a spectral entity be rising? Don't stop now. Did a faint creak ripple from that bed? The cellar darkening with an unseen presence. This emergency locks you in a psychological snare where paranoid projection heightens your terror. And the 2025 study warns 77% sense a spectral sound. Could an entity be calling? Stay with us. Is a cracking shadow from that frame. The rooftop trembling with an eerie cadence. This broadcast drags you into a psychological hell where somatosensory distortion shatters your sanity. And the 2025 study confirms 77% fear collapse. Could a spectral entity be breaking through? Subscribe now. Does Rest Ends pulse with a towering shadow from that creek in this abyss? The silence breaking with your doom? This emergency broadcast traps you in a psychological abyss where paranoid projection seals your fate. And the 2025 study warns 77% feel their end approaching. Could a spectral entity claim you? Watch the full horror now